So studying and healing addiction is one of my passions for a lot of years, and I've worked with lots of different modalities, and I've actually learned how to overcorrect like narcissism and codependency, and it's been really fascinating to work with these different facets. But I had a really cool breakthrough today in understanding of where our tendencies to have addiction come from. And a lot of it stems from, and I kind of had this theory before, because my husband, his tendency would be towards sugar, based on the fact that his mother would often, what's that word that where we make our kids watch TV to just kind of calm them down or suppress them, I guess. And she would use that, to keep him from screaming, feed him ice cream. She used the sugar technique or the food technique. And so whenever he was stressed, he would just go get himself some ice cream or some food. And so I kind of noticed this pattern in him. But it was actually my own pattern of addiction that correlated to my own infancy and my own childhood that was like, oh my hell. Because I have a pattern of attracting situations where I am ignored, and then I kind of throw a tantrum, and then the person will say hi to me, and then they will go back to ignoring me, and I'll throw another tantrum, and then and it just goes back and forth, and eventually, I'm actually addicted to the high of them saying hi to me. It's after ignoring me. It's this weird, and when I was a little girl, when I was a baby, my dad would put me in my crib, and then he would leave, and I would throw this fit, and then he'd come in, and then I would drop dead and pretend to be sleeping, and then it would happen again and again and again, and finally he'd put me in bed with him. Well, that's the tendency I have in my waking life whenever I get and I studied addiction, and so actually I'll play with addiction to kind of understand why somebody would do this, because a lot of times we're like, we don't even like that. Why would we put ourselves in a situation that's not self-loving? And like the woman, my client today, she's like, I don't even like that. Why would I do that? So it makes me, because what I'll do is I'll throw a fit, then the person will come in, and then I will totally play dead. Like I will play like what's your problem? I'll totally ignore them. Like I don't even know what you're talking about. And then I'll go right back into throwing a tantrum if they ignore me. Hold on 1 second. So this is my theory. Our tendencies towards addiction are very closely stemmed to how our parents put us to bed or basically suppressed us. Whether that's self-soothing, whether that they cuddled us. My husband has this really, when I married him, he would like to be rolled up and like really tightly in his blankets, and now he likes me to hold him really tightly. So I am gonna talk to his mother, because I'm actually really curious if she would like hold him tightly or bundle him tightly as a baby to help him calm down. And so, because I think addictions are, because we're not getting our needs met, we're meeting them in another way, in another self-soothing way. It's not necessarily healthy, but it's what we do. Sorry, lots of interruptions tonight. I think it's very correlated now with how we were self-soothed as a child, or how we were soothed, or I don't know. Like, I think all of us moms do it. Like, our kids are screaming, I'll pass my kids candy. Like, I'm totally guilty of that. Or turning on the TV because I'm sick of them screaming, which kind of is scary now that I think about it, when I'm linking the two together, because our generation is so already addicted to TV and cell phones. And that's a lot of reason why I'm helping create the Bee Tribe, because all addiction is basically, it's basically lack of connection. So if you're not connecting to one of your parents and you were connecting to a bottle, it's pretty typical, if you put a baby in isolation and you give it a bottle and a blanket, as it grows older, it's going to connect to a bottle. It's going to connect to a blanket as comfort, because it wasn't connecting. It has an attachment wound. And so we're going to connect with something if we're not connecting with our primary caregivers. Just 1 second, sweetheart. So wherever that attachment would played out, or based on the way we were comforted as a child, I believe now that's very correlated with how we respond to addiction as adults. And because this current generation is already addicts, we are looking at a serious catastrophe in the future if something's not done. And so with the B tribe, it's about connection. It's about creating connection with human beings, physical connection, so that they can actually pull out of their addiction, because the cure to all addiction is basically just connection. Now, addiction is caused by shame, and shame is the vampire of society. 90% of people are dealing with some type of vampirism because they are shamed in everything they do. They're dealing with so much toxic shame as human beings, and so they're slowly shutting off. Now, there's obviously various degrees of this, and so all the way to narcissism and, pathological crazy people. But I believe that a lot of that can be reversed just by, I do a whole system when I work with clients to crack them open and to help them get feeling again and different things. I basically treat narcissism like a vampire, and I kill it just like you kill a vampire. You stake it and you expose it to the light, and you shoot it with a silver bullet and garlic, and each one of those is symbolic of the heart chakra being cracked open so they can feel again, because a lot of times shame will make us shut down our heart chakra. And then, exposing it to light would be talking about those secrets that make us feel like we're not worthy of connection and belonging with other human beings. And then, the silver bullet is the refinery. It's healing their thought processes and their belief systems that are causing them to feel like they're not enough. And to shoot for perfectionism, which is a complete illusion. And then you got your garlic, which is your self-love practices, which stink. Nobody wants to practice those, but that's working out. That's, eating right. That's meditation. That's doing your affirmations. That's making sure you're showing up for yourself every single day and taking those self-love breaks throughout the day, so you're not shutting down as a human being, which is causing the narcissism in the first place, because all a narcissist is a very abused person who didn't get their needs met, or something happened traumatically and they shut completely down, and now they're so angry with the world, or they hate themselves, or they think they're a monster, that they just start taking and feeding off of, because they can't feed from love anymore, they start feeding off pain and the pain of others. And so it's just, just a reversal of that. It's like they become addicted to being a dick, And so, again, it's an addiction that I like to tackle and look at and address, but I really do feel like a lot of it has to do with simply the connection they had with their parents as children, based on how did they get put to bed? How did this person get soothed as a child? Were they soothed with love and comfort, or were they given an object to soothe them, a toy? Anyways, just a theory I have. Totally take a look. If it works for you, it's great. If not, that's cool. Have a great day.